What's up, y'all? This is the first ever episode of High Hands. Now, my name is Riley, right? A lot of you who may have been watching some Cleveland Cavaliers content, you might have stumbled upon my channel. My name is Riley All, right? My channel is called Riley All, and we mainly talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers. But anybody who's been on my channel for a while, you know I used to talk about everybody in the NBA. But I felt like this was the time where I had to make another channel to kind of start expanding my horizons while giving me the opportunity to hear other perspectives of other sports like football, UFC, and other stuff that we can talk about here on High Hands. But I do think today we gotta stick on topic, especially since this is the first episode. But today we need to be talking about Chris Paul because we all heard of the rumors, not even rumors, the breaking news that Chris Paul was waived from the Phoenix Suns. Now, for me, that was shocking news because I do not believe Chris Paul deserved to be waived. Mainly because he was not the reason behind the downfalls of the Phoenix Suns. Now, do you think it is a team out there in the NBA that desperately needs a talent like Chris Paul? And the answer to that is absolutely, because it is one team that I believe needs Chris Paul, and if they got their hands on Chris Paul, would literally change their culture forever. Now you say, hey, Rail, what is that one team you speak of? What is the one team that could literally get their culture changed immediately? And I say that team, giving you a hint, is a Western Conference team, right? Now, that should give you a little bit of hint as I kind of build up, right? This team right here is in the Western Conference and has had its problems. It's had its injury problems, and it's always had a situation where it always needed a prominent point guard that would help these two individuals be completely effective down the line. Now, a lot of you might be guessing who it is, so I'm just going to say it, right? I believe right now the Los Angeles Clippers would desperately crave to acquire talent like Chris Paul because they need him, right? You say why? You say why? And I understand why to that question, but here's my reasoning why. I believe a talent like Chris Paul would literally be exactly what Kawhi Leonard needs. Now, I know they got Russell Westbrook, and he might be prioritized for the Clippers off season, and I understand that, but I do think getting another high IQ playmaking point guard would not only elevate the game of Paul George and Kawhi, but also make sure when Russell Westbrook is as a six-man, you can actually start a player like Chris Paul who could actually play alongside a player like Russell Westbrook and make sure he is toned down a little bit, but at the same time gives him the weaponry to let Russell Westbrook be Russell Westbrook, and he doesn't have to be a pass-first point guard because let's be real here, Russell Westbrook is better than a pass-first point guard. He's not meant to be a pass-first point guard because he's not a pass-first point guard, and it's no problem with that. And this is why I think a player like Chris Paul will be more beneficial. And even if the Clippers decided they don't want to keep Russell Westbrook, why would you give up Russell Westbrook if you don't have the expectations to acquire a player like Chris Paul? Chris Paul is Chris Paul. He is one of the most legendary point guards we've ever seen and witnessed in the NBA. Now, I know we have our criticism with Chris Paul, but let's be real here. Chris Paul is one of the best point guards still in the NBA. And because of that, you cannot let a talent that good, that legendary, be on the market for long because a team like the Los Angeles Clippers could desperately use his services. I feel like it is necessary to kind of tell y'all because I know y'all probably seeing my tongue like, why is it so green? I've been drinking this green apple Gatorade. No sponsor, I'm just saying. I'm just trying to plug y'all in, but this is so good, man. Go to y'all nearest Walgreens, CVS, wherever. Get y'all green apple Gatorade, is fire. But on the topic of Chris Paul, right? You say, is Chris Paul the only target you think the Clippers should really aim for? No, not necessarily. I think you could try to acquire another shooter or two. I'm not sure who those shooter or two would be for y'all, but honestly, I feel like the missing link is honestly a true playmaking point guard. You know, like I don't think CP3 would really be a negative thing for the Clippers. And I know down in the comments below, y'all definitely gonna let me hear, and I want y'all to, because I want to hear your perspective on why you think CP3 wouldn't work and why you think CP3 would work on the Clippers. But honestly, I think CP3 would be the most ideal point guard that ever touched forth on the Clippers currently. Like, when you have Kawhi Leonard and you have Paul George on the roster, the best fit is Chris Paul. Like, we've seen what Chris Paul does with other stars. And if you need something as a recency or just kind of something to go by, just look at what he did with the Phoenix Suns. Yes, he wasn't the scorer we've known him to be, but he didn't have to when you have a player like Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and DeAndre Ayton on your roster. You see how their games elevated with CPZ? It's because he's a great playmaker, he's a floor general, and he's an IQ player, and he's a good defender. That goes under the radar. Chris Paul is a really great defender, and he's only 6'1", 6 feet, 6'1". Like, come on, man. Right now, yes, I understand. Maybe there's some other names out there that you would probably want to acquire other than CPZ, but let's be real. CPZ on the Clippers alongside Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, and possibly Russell Westbrook, that would definitely make the difference between them being a possible Western Conference contender to championship bound. But down in the comments below, let me know how y'all feel about this, and if you think Chris Paul would be the most beneficial on the Los Angeles Clippers.
That's Atlantis with that money.